Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elaine Manzer, the Mayor of the Town of Peace River, and just bringing you an update on our latest council discussion, which was on Monday. We started the evening with a presentation from Energy Alberta, and they just basically updated us on the project, sort of the general project in total, and some of the timelines. So if you want to, you can read their presentation on the town website under the council agenda part. They also indicated to us that in June they will be starting some more of their public engagements. So they'll be turning up perhaps at River Days with a table so people can stop and talk to them. And that's just the beginning of some of their public engagement over the course of this regulatory process, which could take, 3 to 5 years, really, in the end. We also then went and discussed two bylaws. We passed first reading of the Assessment of Manufactured Home Communities bylaw, and basically this bylaw would make the mobile home park owners responsible for collecting the property taxes on the mobile homes that are within their park. Basically, the town finds it very difficult to collect some of these taxes because mobile homes are treated as vehicles rather than as station or permanent homes, so they are not registered in land titles in the same way that other properties were. So this just updates it, and if it comes into effect, council and town and admin is hoping that that would start in January of 2027. So it allows time for the park owners and everybody to make arrangements. We also did second reading of another bylaw. It was called the Nuisance and Unsightly Property Amendment bylaw. Basically, it updates and provides some clarity on fines and enforcement of that bylaw. So part of the reason that it did not go to third reading is that council had some questions about boulevard parking and some of the fine amounts. So we expect this to come back to council for further discussion and maybe third reading by the end of June. We also had another discussion about the land use bylaw refresh process, and we discussed the rules for basically CCAN storage in business areas of town. And at the moment, we are thinking that one CCAN would be sufficient, but you have to look at the bylaw for the particulars of which areas this applies to. So with business areas, it's not residential areas. Also, we had questions about the placement of park model homes and other trailers on residential properties. So we've asked some questions and we're getting some clarity on how that would apply to residential properties. We expect first reading of this bylaw to come to us in the upcoming months, and after first reading, there's still more time for discussion and change and so on. We also had a request from the Village of Hinds Creek for support for a resolution that they want to present to the Alberta Municipalities Conference in the fall. This had to do with modernizing and streamlining the bacterial water testing procedures, which all communities have to fall into line with. But the problem is that some communities that are a distance from Edmonton have really tight timelines to get the test done and then get it to Edmonton in time. Otherwise, the test just ends up having to be redone, and various procedures within their communities are delayed because of that. So council did support the creation of provincial labs in both northern and southern Alberta to alleviate some of that distance time crunch for these sorts of things. So that was the main council discussions, but also maybe public should be aware that in the week of June 23rd, there's going to be several things happening with respect to discussions on our nuclear project. One, municipalities are hosting general nuclear education sessions. There will be a speaker who is basically not connected to the project that's being proposed, and he will talk on generalities of nuclear plants and processes and answer questions that way. Peace River Town itself will also be hosting the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada's one of their, more than one of their engagements. We're told that they'll have some pop-up engagements at various places in town where people can just stop and talk to them about any questions, concerns they have about the project, as well as the town might be hosting a breakfast type of session with the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada. And if you can look on the town website for further updates, that would be your best plan to see when these happen. I'd also like to bring to your attention that June is National Indigenous Cultural Month, and part of that was also to be the powwow, which has been postponed, but a new date has been scheduled for the Peace River Powwow, and it's going to be held at the Baytex on the weekend of July 12th and 13th. So keep checking for details on that. And also, next weekend, big event in town. We're having the River Days and the jet boat races, so we hope that you're all able to get out to some of the events, watch the races, take in other sorts of things, things sponsored by the Art Hub and various others in town. And we look forward to seeing more decorations from some of our business communities, some of whom have already started that, and it's just great to see. So have a good weekend, and hope the smoke does not get to you.